हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम टू माय चैनल। और आज मैं स्टेनोग्राफी को आगे बढ़ाते हुए एक नई टॉपिक पे डिक्टेशन देने जा रहा हूँ, जो कि अब से 15 सेकंड में स्टार्ट हो जाएगी। 10 सेकंड लेफ्ट, 5 सेकंड लेफ्ट, स्टार्ट। मिस्टर डेप्यूटी चेयरमैन, सर, I thank Honorable Minister for bringing this important resolution on revival of sick public sector undertakings. We have been discussing this issue in the House for the last several years. We have been facing this problem since 1991, when the policy of economic liberalisation was adopted by the government of India. After independence, we adopted an industrial policy resolution in 1948 and then again in 1956. The attempt of the government was to change the industrial policy which we adopted in 1956. We did not agree to all the points of the industrial policy of 1956, but we agreed to one important aspect of that policy, that is the policy of self-reliance. The policy of self-reliance has been given to go by now. The aim of our struggle for independence was not just to achieve freedom. Our freedom fighters wanted that along with freedom there should be less and less infiltration of foreign capital, and that we should achieve self-reliance. That is why the concept of public sector as a policy was adopted after we achieved our independence. It was not because we wanted to give towards socialism that it was done. It was because we wanted to achieve self-reliance. It was because we wanted to strengthen our country. It was because we wanted that we should have our own control in certain important sectors like the core sector. That it was done. That was why the core sector was reserved for the public sector. We can divide our public sector into two categories. One category is of those industries which have been in the public sector since inception. When they were set up in the public sector. In the other category, there are a large number of industries which originally belonged to private sector. When these industries became sick, the government of India took over them and subsequently nationalized them. What happened after nationalization of some of these industries? No modernization took place. When we adopted the policy of liberalisation, when we opened our doors and started inviting multinational companies in, and when we started saying that we should face competition. How could we face competition? With which company could we compete? I can give you a few examples like that of the Indian Iron and Steel Company. Both these steel plants, Tata Steel Plant and the IISCO in Burnpur, were set up almost simultaneously in 1 year. Indian Iron and Steel Company was taken over by the government of India in 70s. They nationalized it in 1978 by an act of parliament. But after nationalization, not even a single paisa was invested over there for replacement of the age-old machinery and plants. Not even a single paisa was spent over modernization of this plant. We have been clamoring for the last 15 to 20 years for the modernization of this industry. Now I will just mention 3 or 4 other reasons as to why the public sector enterprises did incur loss. One of the reasons is less mobilization of internal and extra budgetary support. The mobilization of internal and extra budgetary support was well below the level projected in the 5th plan. This led to slowdown in disinvestment and growth plan of the public sector enterprises. It led to a very serious consequence. There was no upgradation of the technology, modernization of the plants, and there was no plan of expansion. Ultimately, the diversification of the public sector enterprises was affected. There was another reason also, that is the fall of budgetary support. As we all know, the fiscal deficit in the union government is going up for the last so many years, and every year is going up. Sometimes it has gone up to 7%. There are even so many states where the fiscal deficit is up to 11% of the GDP. Because of the widening of the fiscal deficit, the budgetary support, which was 22% in 1990, came down to 13% in 1995. So that was another reason. There was no money available for further investments in area like technological upgradation and research and development. There was no money for expansion, and this led to further loss in loss-making enterprises. There is another basic reason which I will just bring to your kind notice, and that is about the increase in competition. Initially, when the public sector enterprises were set up by the government, virtually there was no competition. Later on, the private sector people came forward with heavy investment in those sectors which were not exclusive for the government. Let us take the example of steel. The Tata steel plant and the Rourkela steel plant are almost contiguous, and hardly there is a gap of about 150 kilometers between the Tata Nagar and Raurkela. So the Tata company invested heavily and it competed with the Raurkela steel plant and with other steel plants. It is very natural that this resulted in increased competition. Stop. Thank you, friends. Thank you for watching. I hope you get me, and difficult word is given below for your convenience. Download my video and dictate yourself 10 to 15 times for speeding up yourself. And if you have any problem, that comment on comment box and subscribe my channel for more videos. Okay, thank you.